right, welcome everyone to this Thursday night's edition of Southern Woods and Waters. We hope you are relaxed, sitting back. You've put in a hard day today, so sit back and we're going to talk about some things that we love to do, and I know that you love to do, and that's hunt and fish. Tonight, my guest is Mike Ridings. He came on such a short notice. I did have a couple of guests that I told you were going to be here with the Wounded Warrior program. They were unable to attend. They had an emergency or something happened to them, but Mike is the cavalry. I mean, I heard the cavalry whenever you called.
I've helped you. I mean, you've helped me.
I've tried.
Step up and do some radio sometimes. So,
but Mike Ridings,
glad to be here.
I tell you, the host of the 102.5 Hunt Fish, and when I'm on there, it's Hunt Fish Live, and when you're on there, it's Hunt Fish Talk.
Hunt Fish Talk Radio. That's right.
But we have such a good time on radio, and you know, you've been doing a lot here lately with fishing, more so than you used to do.
Yeah.
And you've been doing some Bassmaster. You went to the Bassmasters Classic.
Yeah, that was a great trip. Went down there and did the ESPN radio feed for the Bassmasters Classic in Shreveport. And
that was something, wasn't it?
That was. Met all those anglers. Met all of them. Had a big media day on Thursday. Got to fish with Kevin Worth, who announced his retirement.
Yep.
And that was an experience. That's some hardcore fishing. Those guys, you know, they're fishing in that tournament $500,000 prize.
Oh yeah.
And they get
and
after
it quickly drops off after about the fourth or fifth place. It drops on off.
Yeah.
So they need to be out there hustling.
And that first day is when you either win it or lose it on that first day. Basically.
I believe that. I believe you got to get
even
a big
if you
enough
make
lead.
it to the second day. That first day is what everything is based on, because then you get a pattern of the fish.
That's right.
And I learned so many just technical skills from Kevin. And he is probably one of the world's best boat drivers. Mm-hmm. Triton, he fishes in a Triton, and they used to have a race fishing tournament where they'd race a certain distance, fish, race some more, and it was all time and of course, bass weight.
Oh, yeah.
In competition, and Kevin won those every time they had them. And that day on the Red River, Hugh, it was about 32 degrees. We launched. There's 2,000 people at this boat launch.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's unbelievable. And they got a concert going on at 5 in the morning at the boat launch, and we rode 76 miles round trip that one day fishing. That's like going from here to Cookville.
That's right.
Center Hill Lake.
That's right.
In a boat.
In a boat.
And that water was, 2 or 3.
2-3 foot chops.
Yeah, and it looked like chocolate pudding, and he never let up. I mean, that boat's running 70 miles an hour. Went through a lock to get to the lower pools down there where they'd been pre-fishing, where the water was a little clearer. But this guy would get, I'm telling you, he'd get his boat, like a 21-footer. It's one of the big Tritons.
Right.
There was some cypress stumps, old duck blinds in there, and that's where he pre-fished and caught some fish. He would get that boat up on a stump and jockey it over and go and use his power poles in the back. Unbelievable. And getting into water, that they were catching fish in 18 inches of water.
That's something to see, though, isn't it?
And that prop running, not wide open, but he's got it jacked up in the back. And yeah, I was amazed. I was scared on those fast runs. I was a little scared. I didn't have a console.
You had a suicide handle.
I had one handle. But whoever bolted that in at the plant, they did good, because I was.
You were sure trying to rip it off.
I thought I was going to rip it out of the side of that boat.
But it is an experience, isn't it?
It is.
It is a big time experience, and a lot of those pros are just they eat, sleep, dream, everything's fishing. How am I going to get that extra bite? How am I going to get that one more fish, that one more big fish in the boat? And they're scheming the entire time.
And people we hang around with that love hunting and fishing, especially fishermen, a lot of these guys are idolized. They're very famous.
Oh, yeah.
Most of these guys have won multi-million dollars. I mean, look in the media guide at all the monies they've won. But we pull up through the lock, and we're tied up 20 boats wide. Kevin Van Dam, Shaw Grigsby, Mike Akinale, all of them just sitting there, and they're throwing crackers at each other, just cutting up, having a good time. And it's not like other competitive sports.
Well, it's like a club because those guys fish against one another everywhere.
They travel all over the country.
And, some don't make it to some tournaments, and others make it to other tournaments. And but there's about probably 175 to 200 regular Elite Series pros across the country.
Exactly.
And but they do FLWs, they do Everstarts, they do BASS, they do the Federation stuff. So it's all according to which one they're trying to follow that week. Mm-hmm. And we have some up and coming new stars coming on right here in our own backyards, right here in Tennessee. The one that comes to mind, Ben Parker, lives on Kentucky Lake, and he's an upcoming new one that's fixing to get into the Elite Series, and that's he was in it a little bit last year, but he's getting back into it, and so we've got the colleges, Bethel University and a few other colleges around here, Murray State, some of those. They're coming on with their youngsters that are getting so much more advanced than we are because they're studying it and they're practicing a lot, and then they're going to jump up into the Everstarts and the FLWs and all that, and make a name for themselves.
Andrew Upshaw won the college world tournament last year, and he got an automatic bid into the Classic. And each year, whoever wins the college Elite Series or whatever they're calling it gets that invitation to the Classic.
Oh, we got some great.
He's 23 years old, and he was in the top 12 after the first day.
Well, look, Adam Wagner. Adam Wagner's right down here from Smithville, Tennessee, outside of Smithville, or fishes a lot down there at Center Hill Lake, and he's one of the premier. Sam Lashley.
Yeah.
Sam just got to see a good film that he did with that the Scott Martin Challenge. He and Scott Martin teamed up against another team and whacked them pretty good on Kentucky Lake. So, we got some really good fishermen and ladies in this area.
Right.
A lot of ladies, a lot of pro fishing women here.
Think about
in Middle Tennessee.
What it would have been like, Hugh, when we were in college, if there would have been an opportunity to be on a fishing team. And these kids nowadays that love the sport and have any talent at all can practice hard, and it's a non-contact sport, but it's still a very competitive sport. You're not there,
and it's mine.
You're not hitting heads or bumping shoulders with football pads on.
No,
but some of these kids get a full ride college scholarship.
Yes, they do,
and it's going to be in more and more colleges.
And I think it's a good thing, not necessarily just all football or all basketball or all baseball. Excuse me, bass fishing. Archery's getting in the big time in school programs, and they've got college scholarships now for archery. So it's starting to get to where any outdoor sports, shooting, McEwen, McKenzie, all the girls and teams up there that win all the time.
Yep.
Man, my goodness, that's great opportunities for our youngsters to get it far more advanced in sports and get free rides to college.
And make it to the Olympics. Because the Olympics are, archery, shotgun, rifle, pistol.
Silhouette shootings and all this and long range.
Let me tell you one thing I learned up there, Hugh. We spent a lot of time in this media room. This was a working trip. I mean, we got tons of good connections. But we met a lady that was kind of in charge of the media room from Indiana, and they've got a program in their public libraries. And listen to this, how good an idea this is.
I'll tell you what, hold on a minute. Hold on. We've got to take a break. Andrew's telling me we've got to take a break. Hold on. We'll be right back with more Southern Woods and Waters, and we'll tell you about that project, okay? So hurry back to more Southern Woods and Waters. This segment is being brought to you by Signs Now in Hendersonville. We help you stand out in a crowded world. All right, this week's Pictures of the Week are being brought to you by Flowers Garden Center. Oh, Mike and Deborah Flowers out there. Mike, they've been busy as all get out there.
I've been by there a few times.
They have got more plants than you can shake a stick at.
They got a bunch.
They got a bunch.
They got a great operation.
Yes, they do. Great people. Hey, this is from Jonathan Nix. He said, Hugh, here's my first catch of the year, buddy. This was back in February, but way to start the year off right there. It's a nice little creek he's been fishing in, so congratulations on that, Jonathan. Next picture, this is, I don't know, his son, this is Tom Withrow. His son's married to my daughter. So what does that make us? In-laws?
Yeah.
So this is Tom. Tom Withrow with a nice fish that he caught on Kentucky Lake about 2.5 weeks ago. So good job there, Tom. Our next picture here, this is Dalton Vaughn. He is age 12. He said he caught these fish on Center Hill using the tips that I provided to his father, Daryl, when he called into the show. Thank you so much, and they never miss a show. So congratulations, Dalton, and thank you so much, and keep chunking, buddy. I'll tell you what, there's bigger ones out there. You send your pictures to us here at Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Robinson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37219, or simply email them to me at hugh@southernwoodsandwaters.com. We'll get them on here super fast. All right, some great pictures there, and we got a lot more coming in. A lot of tournaments going on, Mark, and a lot of people sending in pictures and stuff. But I want you to tell me about this project now, all right? So talk to me about it.
This is such a good idea, and all your listeners, this can happen in all these communities all over the state, not even just in Tennessee. It's a public library program in Indiana, not statewide, but parts of Indiana, where kids can go in and check out fishing poles. Just like
rods and reels?
Rods and reels. Just
and
like
tackle?
Yeah, just like you check out a book. You check out the fishing rod and use it for a weekend or 2 or 3 days and bring it back.
And bring it back.
Get another one or get a book next time. But isn't that a great idea?
That is a great idea.
That's basically started through, they've got some high school fishing teams.
Oh, yeah.
In Indiana. And that's becoming a big competitive sport. So that's great. It's getting the kids involved, giving them something that they can shoot for, practice. If they're good at it and like it, they've got a way to provide an education for themselves through scholarships in colleges.
And don't you think, though, Mike, we need to get behind that, stuff like that, like 150%, because we're dying off.
I know, exactly.
And if we don't refurbish ourselves and bring new blood in, hunting and fishing is going to be a thing of the past.
It's just like a church. If you've got a church that's got older members and you're not bringing in the younger members, the church will die.
Oh, yeah, the church
is just like this sport.
Limited.
This sport needs to thrive again, and that's the only way to make it thrive is the youngsters.
Well, I got to say, while we're talking about this, Tennessee Outdoor or Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency is providing what they call Tennessee Outdoor Youth Summit, which is toys, and that's coming up very, very shortly. Donald Hossey and a bunch of those guys are getting together with a bunch of youngsters from across the state, talk to them about what they would like to see as far as hunting and fishing and outdoor-related activities, and just talk to them a little bit about why do we have so many turkey? Why do we hatch our own striper? Questions that need to be asked, and questions need to be answered. So a great avenue for kids to get involved, and we got some information. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but it is a great thing. It's called TOYS, Tennessee Outdoor Youth Summit. So it's coming up very shortly, and
Donald Hossey does a great job.
He does a great job.
He does a great job.
And Don Crawford, I got to give a big shout out to my buddy Don Crawford. He does an awesome job with Archery in the Schools program. I mean, we're adding more and more schools each and every year, getting involved and seeing what kind of kids that we can get involved in archery. And the great thing about archery is you don't have to be a certain height, you don't have to be a certain weight, you don't have to have a certain amount of muscle or you don't have to work out with weights a whole lot, and it's just an all-around girls, boys can enter into this, and they can compete against one another, and that's usually what it takes place. Is that one of these? Have you ever been to one of these archery in school deals?
No, I've never been to one of the competitions.
Oh my goodness, it's boys against girls. It's usually age groups.
Right.
Is how they divide it, but it's boys and girls compete alike. And you'd be surprised. There's quite a few girls out there. I would not want them shooting at me.
I know the Matthews Archery Company has been
yeah.
huge in sponsoring with the Genesis bows.
Genesis bows, and they're big into the archery in the school program.
And that's important.
Don't you think that they see the fact that we've got to invest in our youngsters if we're ever going to have a business down the road?
Exactly.
Because you look at it, archery usually plays off on a hunter about 55 to 60 years old. They kind of just quit doing the bow hunting. They may pick up a crossbow,
right.
but they're going to kind of quit bow hunting because it's bones are getting brittle, and I'm not. I'm one of the crowd too. I know. So muscles aren't quite as limber as it used to be, but we've got to try and replenish that and keep an influx of new people coming in.
Something we talked about, Hugh, on my show last Saturday. I got some press releases and some emails. The sales in archery equipment in the last month have tripled in some of these archery shops.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's because of that movie, Hunter Games.
That's right, Hunter Games.
And the character, I forget her name.
I haven't seen the movie yet.
But it's a young girl, and that's who's buying the archery equipment is fathers and mothers. Katniss.
Pat.
Is it Patton? Anyway.
Katniss. That's
yeah.
That's it.
So
thank you, Andrew.
There you go. Thank you.
He's watched it,
I
guess.
Have one of those. But it's a trilogy, so there's going to be 2 more sequels to this movie. But the young girls are buying this archery equipment. It's mostly recurves and longbows and they're shooting compounds. I've read a little bit about the movie, but I haven't seen it. But that's pretty neat. I mean, it's sparked interest in archery.
But is it a movie about kids hunting other kids?
No, it's about, I think it's way in the future, and there's like a colony of kings that rule the world, and kids are fighting.
Oh, okay.
For whoever makes it gets to live to do it again.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
but
I've never seen it.
It's got to be a little bit violent for shooting.
Yeah, for shooting
bows and arrows at
each other. I hope y'all don't take that up. But if it's in the future, I hope it's a long way in the
And y'all
future.
still got your archery club.
Oh yeah, we have Pine Creek Archery Club, and we got some tournaments coming up very, very shortly. But there's still a few local archery clubs that still go on, and what's happened is, and what I want to stress to all our viewers out there is, if you have an opportunity to help an archery club or become a member and help them set these ranges up, man, this is my 33rd year to be shooting competitive archery, and that's a long time. And then you look at I've seen a lot of people come and go in archery, and it's because they work so hard, Mike, and they set up these ranges, and
you've told
they
many
work hard.
they 3D
tote those 3D
arm.
targets, and then when somebody shows up, you got maybe 10 or 15 people show up, and you go, is it worth it? I've spent 4.5 hours out here. I got it before daylight.
Then you got to take it all down and put it away.
Then you got to take it all down and put it away. And then you got to, store it. It's got to be stored. You have to pay for it and pay insurance. I'm just trying to say that if you have an opportunity to get with your local archery club, check them out. Look into it. Check them out. Become a member. Help out. The best way to learn something is get involved.
And get with other people that know. I mean, every time we ever had just a practice round or just open, we used to have the Jolton Bow Hunters Club.
That's right.
And if you were up there, if you were new or struggling, somebody was always there to help you, give you a tip. That's all you need is a tip.
That's all you need.
Just take that tip and work it from there.
Now you have Davidson County Gun Club, Sportsman's Club, but you're over that. You're the president of it, and like if people come in, and what I like about the gun club and the archery and the fishing, even fly fishing, a good friend of ours does the Hendersonville fly tying up there, Pete, and so when people come in, they welcome them, even if they know they're brand new, and they show them a little tidbit or a tip or how to do something a little simpler, and it makes the hobby a lot more enjoyable.
And then you get to network with those other members and find a new place to fish or a new place to hunt, and
or a good deal on a rifle or a pistol or something like that, or a bow or anything. So you can find out a lot by getting involved in a club, and I promise you, I've been involved with clubs all my life, I reckon, ever since I can remember. We're always in either a hunting club or a fishing club or something like that. So it always helps out to be around those that are doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So, hey, you've got some other stuff coming on. You've been talking a lot about Healing Waters
Project Healing Waters. Yeah, we started doing a fly fishing segment on our show about 5 weeks ago. We do a weekly 8 to 10 minute fly fishing segment. And the first thing people think when they think of fly fishing is catching trout.
Yeah.
But around here you can catch any kind of
Anything.
fish. Carp on the fly is a big. There's a tournament here Fly South sponsors, and it's a summer-long thing. You go in and sign up, and you catch these big carp, and they have a big awards banquet at the end of the year. But Project Healing Waters is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where they take wounded, active and retired military.
Mm-hmm.
And like you and I were talking before the show, there's a lot of amputee guys that they teach them how to fly fish, teach them how to fly ties, because it's very therapeutic, especially the fly fishing, just the art,
Oh, yeah.
usually fishing on still water. But a lot of the guys that they're helping have some mental problems from being in the wars. And this started at the Army. Hang on, let me read my notes here. The Walter Reed Army Medical Hospital is where this started. And a guy named Sam Tate, a famous songwriter here in Nashville, wrote "The River Just Knows." And if listeners want to hear a really good, it'll give you goosebumps. A great song. Just go to iTunes or Google it. "The River Just Knows." Rodney Atkins has the cut that they're selling on iTunes now.
All right.
But Sam wrote this song. He saw these guys fishing on a river in Montana, and he paddled away in his canoe and wrote this song. And it's all about the
fly fishing
and how it's helping these wounded veterans and active service.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about it, but we got to take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to open our phone lines up to where you can call us here at 737-7767. So get those dialing fingers going. We'll be right back with more of Southern Woods and Water. All right, welcome back, everyone. You can call us here at 737-7767 for any questions you might have. But since we're waiting on some of the phone lines to start ringing, a little bit more about the Healing Waters. Y'all are going to the Trout Fest, is that true?
Yeah, over in Townsend, Tennessee, next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
The Trout Fest is May 18th through the 20th.
Okay.
And we're doing our broadcast live from
Townsend, Tennessee,
from the
Trout Fest.
And it's a fundraiser, Hugh, for the Great Smoky Mountain fisheries.
Okay.
All the streams. The money goes back into helping the biology of the streams, keeping the fish healthy, stocking some of these streams. So it's a great fundraiser, and there'll be thousands of people over there. It's the largest fly fishing type of show in the southeast.
Well, I tell you
Townsend, Tennessee. That's a great little town.
Now, and it's what, at the base of the Smoky Mountains now?
Yeah.
Townsend. Okay.
Just go to the town of Townsend, and I don't know a lot of the details.
But you're going to be there.
We're going to be there.
All right.
We're going down Friday, and I get the pleasure of being guided in some of those streams on Saturday and Sunday, fly fishing, catching some.
Now, you just going to wear cutoff shorts?
Hey, I might.
You're going to get some waders?
Depends on how cold the water is. I'll probably have waders with long johns on
We've
under.
We've been calling you blue legs.
Yeah, they will get blue. They've done that before.
All right, we got some callers here, and we'll take, let's see, Andrew, Don. We got Don. Don, how can we help you tonight?
Hey, I got a question about the water level on Normandy and the Tennessee River.
Okay.
And I'll hang up and listen to you answer, because I was wanting to go to Normandy, but I hear it's real low.
Now that I don't know, Don. I don't know so much about why Normandy is down, because it's not navigable waters. It's just a lake. So I don't know the reason, unless they may be repairing some ramps, Don, or something like that. That might be happening. I do know, however, why the Tennessee River is down. If you'll all will remember the 300-foot span bridge that got hit, they're having to move a barge with a crane on it that goes on both sides of that bridge. So the water has to kind of stay within a 5 to 6 inch variable there, because it's just barely getting under those bridges. So that's the reason. Tennessee River, Kentucky Lake, Lake Barkley, they are at the highest they're going to be probably right now till that bridge is done, till they don't need that crane anymore. And as soon as they don't need that crane, then I'm sure they're going to allow it to come back up to summer pool. But as of right now, that is the reason why Tennessee River, Kentucky Lake, and Barkley are down, is because of that reason. And it's not because anybody's afraid of May rains. I hear that all the time. It's because they're scared of their May rains. No, they're not. They can open the gates when they want to, but that's the reason that those lakes and the river are down. So there you go. And we got Keith. Keith, how can we help you tonight?
Hey, buddy, I was just going to call and say something about James Blair.
I'm glad you did.
Buddy, he was my uncle, and he passed away, and he was real good. He was a real nice man, and I won't hang up and let you talk about him.
All right.
I went over and seen him, but I know Dayton and Jimbo real well, but he was a real fine man.
Yes, he
Don't
was.
hang up.
And I appreciate that. And he is correct that James Poppy Blair, if you fished Percy Priest or Old Hickory at all, you had to have known James Poppy Blair. You might not have met him, but you probably saw him out there. And he passed away Sunday night, and we buried him yesterday, Wednesday, out there at the family graveyard, and had a real nice service for him at Sellers Funeral Home. But our hearts and prayers and wishes and all of our love from Southern Woods and Waters and all of our guests go out to the Blair family. We especially know Dayton and Jimbo Blair for being on here many, many times on the show. They are avid hunters and fishermen in Middle Tennessee, and rightly so. Their dad was a legend on smallmouth fishing. He used to fish with Porter Wagner and Tony Bean and a few of the other Spoon Pluggers is the group that they started many years ago. And just the other day, Monday, Mike, I was asked, so where do you think Poppy Blair's favorite fishing spot was? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, friend, you can go out there in your boat and launch it out of the ramp and go out there to the middle of Percy Priest Lake and take your rod and reel and throw your lure as far as you can. And that's one of his spots. Because he had a spot, that man.
He was all over it, wasn't he?
Had spots everywhere, Mike. I never knew a man that knew something so much that he could tell you the rock pile that he built and that it's there. And you'd be right on it, or the brush pile, or the log, or the stump that he put there. Or him and the boys would build little rock fences and little walls, and they would build it underwater just so they'd have something to fish for structure. And he knew where every single piece of it was.
I never met him, but I knew who he was.
He touched so many people's lives that it's almost immeasurable. Beautiful service that they had for him. And he leaves behind one of the best families in Middle Tennessee. Every last one of them was born and raised in Wilson County. And they grew up there, and they're Wilson Countyans, I call them. And I don't think any of them has ever really left. They all and it's Blair Hill. All the family lives on top of the hill. I mean, Poppy had 2 sons and a daughter, and all of them live up there on top of the hill. And it's all like a Blair complex is what it is. But just every walk of life was there. And a big shout out also to one of my good friends, Andy Griggs. Andy Griggs was there. He sang. Oh, he just did such a good job singing. For the last few days that Poppy Blair was alive, Andy would show up and sing gospel songs to him for hours. And then
That's great.
It just means a lot to me that a country star as busy as Andy Griggs, takes the time out to. And Andy would tell you, Poppy was his hero. And so he helped out his hero. He took time out of his busy schedule to be there for him. So just a great thing for all the family, all the Blair family. We love you. We pray for you constantly. And we got to get you back out there fishing with us really soon. All right? So we got 3 is Jim. Jim, how can we help you tonight?
Here, this is Jim from Tullahoma.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever put the fish batter recipe on your website? I looked for it several days after the April 26th show, and I never did see it. Maybe I missed it.
Jim, Joy's going to check right now. She is on the computer right now. She's going to check it. She's be listening, and we'll give you a report right back, okay?
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. And we got Fernando. How can we help you, Fernando? Hello? Hello? All right. Michael, how can we help you tonight?
Yes, Michael. I was wondering if y'all knew where a good catfishing spot in Nashville to take kids is.
Yeah.
Small kids, with nothing the real big bluffs.
Well, I can tell you what's coming up. June 9th is Free Fishing Day.
Okay.
There is going to be a huge event at Shelby Park. They're bringing in catfish at Shelby Park at the little lake there, and kids are almost demanding you got to go. I mean, because it's awesome. They're going to have a big to do at Shelby Park this year. I've been reading flyers about it. You have too.
I have too.
That's going to be huge for all the inner city kids or outlying areas. If you want to come to Shelby Park, they're going to have prizes and games and everything and awards and kids winning money, I heard, and a few other things. And they got it all catfish. So it's June the 9th, and it's just you walk around the bank. No boats or anything like that. It's too small for that, but bank fishing only. But they're TWRA's furnishing fishing poles. And
check with your whatever region of the state you live in. Call your regional office at TWRA.
Yep.
And there's a long list of these fishing rodeos.
There is.
And some of them are going to be Sunday as well. Even though Free Fishing Day is Saturday, they're going to
extend it.
They're going to have 2 days. So
I'll tell you another one. Ashland City Park.
Yeah.
Ashland City Park up here in Ashland City always has.
I think Centennial Park here in Nashville's having one.
Right.
Probably Cedar Hill Park in Madison.
I know Maribone's having one out there in Jolton. Maribone's having a big one, and Maribone is back up and running, ladies and gentlemen.
And Ashland City and Maribone ain't very far from each other. They're right there together, ain't they?
No,
right.
Well, actually, Maribone Creek runs into Cheatham Lake here, so it's not far at all.
Yeah, check the TWRA website, tnwildlife.org, or call your regional office.
Or you can call 615-781-6500. That is the main office, and they will get you in touch with whoever you need to be in touch with. So, great question. Thank you.
Glad he brought that up.
All right, well, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You too. And we got Mark, how can we help you tonight?
Hey, you. How you doing?
Just fine, Mark.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a line on Gunnersville, one of Poppy Blair's other favorite places to go.
It was. And I tell you what, I hadn't heard that much about Gunnersville right now. I'm going to be honest with you, but I can tell you, if Kentucky Lake and Barkley are any inclination, then I would say Gunnersville's about a week or 10 days ahead of those two lakes, just simply from the warm up, and that would be they're on the river edges. They're on those ledges right now. They've already spawned out probably in those creeks, in the creek channels headed to the river, or they're in the river channel. But on those ledges right there on the river channel side is where I'd be investigating my time and spending a lot of time. So we hope that helps you out, Mark.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. And by the way, a good bait, Mark, would be chatterbaits. Chatterbaits have come on now here lately, and we've got a few that are being made right here in Murfreesboro by a friend of ours, and we'll show them at the next break, show you what you're catching them on. But they seem to be working really well. And jigs, of course, and big worms. So let's go now to our tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is being brought to you by Walwyn & Walwyn. Go by and visit them in Madison or call them at 615-859-9668.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, I wanted to show you, we showed this to you last week. Terry Hobbs was on the show talking to you about stand-up jigs. Well, you lost your, okay, that's okay. But stand-up jigs is a new brand of shaky head jigs that Terry Hobbs has come out with. Well, I got news for you. We got the PAA going on right now on Old Hickory Lake. and it is full of. Let me get that to where you can see it a little bit better. I'm gonna hold it right, well, like this. I'll hold it just like this. The PAA is going on Old Hickory Lake right now, and it's, if you'll see that is, let's see, like that right there. See the flat edge on here, the flat part? Well, that makes it set up on the rocks or on the bank, something like that, but it sets up, and we can hold it like that. Sets up like that right there. And with your worm, or if you can use a creature bait or worm, brush hog, super hog, whatever the case may be, but you put the head of it on the little spiral here, the little spring, and then embed the hook into it, and it just sets up. And anywhere you bounce this thing on the bottom, Mike, it always makes the bait stand up.
That's a good looking.
It is.
That's a good looking.
And this is, the hook itself is a mustad hook, and it is what they call their 5X hook. It was specially made for this stand-up jig, and it's strong. I mean, it is strong. But because of the hook point, and this is what people look for, is the hook point, or the point of the hook, is dead even with the eye of the hook. That's what the secret is. Because a lot of hooks are either before the eye or behind the eye. This was dead with it. And when you set that hook, or when you pull back on that line, that hook immediately goes in. And so that's why their catch ratio is getting more and more better than the other way the offsets are going. So it's a great, great tip. Use stand-up jigs. Go visit standupjigs.com.
What does that weigh? What does that weigh?
This one here is a half ounce.
They got
but he makes it 1/8 ounce all the way up to a half ounce. So it's a good looking jig. Go try them out. Standupjigs.com. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have our recipe. So Miss Joy's going to come join us over here this time. We don't have to go so far to eat next time. We'll see you right back here with more of Southern Woods and Waters.
This week's Recipe of the Week is being brought to you by Broker Headquarters Group. Let our team in Camo help you with all of your real estate needs.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Southern Woods and Waters. And boy, Miss Joy's got a neat little dip for you. It is very, very tasty. It like not to have made it to the show, I got to admit, because I was on the tad bit on the hungry side when we got in the car. But it did make it miraculously. It was a lot of her slapping my hand, but it got here. And so, Joy, tell us what it has a lot to do with crabs.
Yep.
Oh, well, it's time for you to talk, man.
It's a crab dip, Hugh. It's really good. This one, I kind of mixed two different recipes together, but this one I put some spinach in it, and I just used, the little frozen packages. It's a 10-ounce package, and it's one of them, and then just squeeze it dry after it thaws. And then I used one large cream cheese, which is 8 ounce. I used non-fat.
What?
And, yes. And I used non-fat 1 8-ounce plain yogurt. And
There's yogurt in that?
Mm-hmm. I used a half a cup of Parmesan cheese.
Don't let that out, guys. Don't let that yogurt pump
out.
out.
It had Miracle Whip in it, which you love.
I love Miracle Whip.
But it was the light Miracle Whip. Half a cup.
I knew it had a twang to it.
Had garlic salt,
we get to eat more.
Pepper,
It's light.
and 1 can, the 6-ounce can of crab meat. That has lump crab in it, but you can just, as long as it's crab meat, just mix all that together, and that's it. And then those little crackers and all, we've got those different ones
So
at
this
Kroger's.
was fat-free?
Well, let's say it's
Low fat.
yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Nothing's
A little bit.
fat-free.
Nothing's fat free.
You know, you
You
know
see
how
that
you
big
get
divot?
low fat and fat free and how it tastes now, ladies and gentlemen.
But
to
you
be
liked
honest with
it.
you.
You
see
liked
that
It's
it.
big
good,
divot
yeah.
in that side?
You
where we
you done put a big dent in that, Mike.
Got a big old
I'm glad the
divot.
camera's on that side.
And Hugh, let me say
the
that
cavern on this side.
I was trying to get on my iPad to look up to see if the recipe was on
Yeah.
there for that fish dip or the batter, and my password's at home. I don't know how to. It's on my laptop, not on my iPad.
Well,
so
let's
as
just
soon
tell
as I
our
get home,
viewer,
I'll
if
make sure
it's not on there, it will be on there. Joy will make
Yeah.
sure it gets on there. So check us out tomorrow. Just to make sure, check us out, because you'll put it on either in the morning or tonight.
Yeah.
And so check us out tomorrow, and it'll be on there for you because it is a great, great fish batter. Bar none, it is Poppy Blair is the one that gave it to Jimbo, and it's the best.
Hoppy said that I was talking to him at Poppy's funeral yesterday from Fate Sanders, and I was telling him about it. I said, oh my goodness, you have to try it. He said, I'd love to use it at the restaurant there. I said, you can't go wrong. That's the best stuff I've ever put in my mouth.
It'll put him definitely on the map as far as fish fries.
Do I have time to tell him real quick what it is? It's easy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it is a 5-pound bag of cornmeal, Martha White cornmeal mix.
Right.
Cornbread mix.
Yellow.
Yep. And a whole thing of lemon pepper seasoning, a whole thing. And then a 4th of garlic salt. And there was one other thing in it.
You had it.
I did.
Just check on the internet tomorrow.
That's it. I mean, that's it. It was one other ingredient that he said, and then you just mix all that together, and he said just put it in a Ziploc bag, just pour it all in there, shake it up, let it sit. If it sits a week or 2 weeks or whatever in the refrigerator, all those go together, and it was the best thing that we had.
It was really, really
Y'all better
good.
get that on the website, because
Quick.
you're going to have some mad people like
I'm
me.
telling you, you better get it on there.
It's
man.
good. I'm not kidding. And we eat fish all the time, because I don't eat beef or pork and hadn't since 1980, so I eat a lot of
That
fish.
explains a lot. But the fat-free stuff.
Look at you. You're doing good, and you don't even know when I sneak in some stuff like that. I've been trying to find some diabetic recipes. Lady down in Perry County at Loretta Lynn's, when we go in there, she said, please come up with some diabetic recipes. And I've tried, but every time I find one and it says for diabetics now, it's loaded with sugar or has corn syrup
Cornstarch or syrup and stuff like that.
I'd love if somebody had some to email them to me. I mean, any recipe they want to email to me, I would love to try it and put it on the show.
That's brokerheadquarters.com.
Or through your website, southernwoodsandwaters.com, either one.
All right, Mike, we got to get back to talking to you just a little bit, because you got a great radio show, and people need to hear where it is. It's 102.5. What times?
6 to 8 a.m.
On Saturdays.
on Saturday mornings, and we're launching our first syndicated station June the 2nd up in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Ooh.
And it's got about 150-mile radius around Owensboro. It goes up past Evansville, Indiana. So it's going to be fun.
That'd be
reaching
great.
out to those people, because it's basically, even though we're here in
They're
Nashville,
basically hunting fish the same as we do.
Exactly. And that's what's neat about the show. I've been honored and thankful. I've had some really good guests on the show, very knowledgeable people.
Who's going to be your guest this week?
Thought you were, but
I'm out this week. I'm telling you, Mother's Day weekend.
I'll probably just do the show myself. I got some good call-in stuff.
Yeah.
Leading up for Trout Fest, and Trout Fest will be.
Now, I might have to
really
call
good
in
show.
because they've got Bass Pro Shops. They've got us working. A lot of the Bass Pro Shop guys are working the PAA event, which is on Old Hickory this weekend. Final day is Saturday. But I'll be out there from 12 to 2, I understand. That's my little time slot. It's 12 to 2 out there at Saunders Ferry Park with the boat and everything, carrying a bunch of people for demo rides and carrying some of the PAA guys around just to let them see some of the other anglers fishing. So we've got that availability for anybody in the public to come on out there and get to meet some of those guys, meet and greet some of those guys, and learn some tips like you did while you were at the Bassmasters.
Yeah.
The thing I like about these guys, they'll share.
Yeah, if you ask them, they'll tell you.
They'll share. That's right. Hey, we got our giveaway tonight. Boy, have we got a great package for you.
Man, that's a good
We
one.
got to talk to Jeff Delvesco last week with he's with the Texas Roadhouse, and he gave us a dinner for two. It's about a $30 value. Plus, I put in about $35 worth of goodies here. So if you'll be the 5th caller at 737-7767, you're going to get a nice little package to catch your own fish. And if you don't catch any fish, you can carry your wife to eat a steak. What the for?
Or get a fish sandwich.
Yeah, to get a fish sandwich. All right, we're going to bring right back with our calendar of events. So hurry back to more of Southern Woods and Water. This calendar of the week is being brought to you by Drycon Carpet Cleaning. Give us a call or visit us online at drycon.com. All right, welcome back, and we want to say congratulations to Mark Droning from Nashville, Tennessee. He's going to get a fine trip to the lake, and then a fine trip to Texas Roadhouse. So great job, Mark. They're right here at the studio. Just come by here, pick them up. Hey, starting, actually tomorrow, Friday, is day 2 of the PAA that's going on Old Hickory Lake. Day 3 will be Saturday, and the field will be dropped down to 15 of the top bass anglers in the PAA will be competing for that number 1 prize. So great event. Come on out there and visit with us. We'll be out there at Saunders Ferry Park. Also on Saturday, May 12th, Old Hickory Bass Anglers is going to go out of Bulls Creek. USA Bassing is going to be out of Old Hickory at Chutes Branch. Netminders is going out of Dale Hollow at Star Point Ramp, and Old Hickory Bass Tournament Trail is going to be at Lone Branch. There's going to be a lot of people out there on Old Hickory this weekend. And then Austin Peay State University's Governor's Bass Tournament, that's the annual event. It's going to be at Paris Landing, Kentucky Lake. That's a big, huge event every year. It's a 300-plus boat event. So great time out there. Sunday, May 13th, Tennessee statewide turkey season closes. That's terrible, but we got it going on.
3 more days left.
That's it. Saturday, May 19th. Catch me at Joy Church in Mount Juliet. We're going to be out there from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock giving fishing seminars. So, and there's a whole lot of other seminars out there, but it's a men's retreat. It's for guys only. So come on out there, guys, and join me out there at Joy Church in Mount Juliet. It's right there off of Charlie Daniels Parkway, right beside Charlie Daniels Park. So it's going to be an awesome time out there and they're giving away all kinds of prizes to guys that are coming out there. So great deal to go to there. Also on May 19th, Old Hickory Bass Anglers is going to be out at Bulls Creek. Netminders is going to be at Percy Priest at Long Hunter. Fishers of Men is going to be at Kentucky Lake. Middle Tennessee Crappie Club is coming up to their lake of choice. And then the Cedar City Bass Anglers is going out of Percy Priest. And then Sunday, we're headed to Lake Barkley Joy for the Music City Bass Anglers. And the Heartland Anglers are going out of Watts Bar, Tom Fuller Ramp on Sunday, May 20th. Old Hickory Lake Bowman's going to have a 25 target archery range out there off of Chutes Lane. So that's what's going on in the next couple of weeks. Lots of things going on.
One of the most
What did I forget? What did I forget?
Well, one, Saturday morning you're taking me turkey hunting. It's on
That's
my
right.
schedule.
And Sunday is Mother's Day.
Right.
So don't forget that,
Mother's
guys,
Day.
or you'll never go fishing again.
Take her fishing.
Take her fishing.
I want to go turkey hunting Sunday.
Okay, I'll take
Your mom turkey hunting.
I'll take you
That's what I
turkey.
wanna do.
I got less than 30 seconds. I want to say, Mike Ryan, thank you so much, one, for being in the sports and trying to get as many people involved in outdoor activities as you do. Second of all, thanks for coming on such a short notice,
That's
buddy.
all right,
You saved
man.
my bacon again.
You do a great job, too. Just keep putting the word out.
And I tell you what, third, he's got a great show. Go visit his show, 102.5, Saturday morning, 6 to 8 o'clock. Thank you, Miss Joy, for putting up with me all these years. Remember, use those personal flotation devices. See you next week.